I could have not done this today, but I thought, you know what, why not do it? Because my window is leaking. And that makes me upset. What's kind of funny is, I don't think there's ever any graphics containing his lady friend. And also kind of weird is that Remy has, like, the tie doesn't really do much for, like, it adds a lot of contrast to his character, but the fact that he keeps the collar on is the part that gets me. Like, just this. Like, it doesn't look, like, with the tie, it's got this flow to it. It isn't a giant, like, here's the thing. It feels like a huge, opulent detail that doesn't do anything but be opulent, you know? It's there, it's not, it's like, oh, it's for the tie, and he's, oh yeah, I forgot, he has like 4 different versions because of his lipstick. Actually, with the lipstick, it kind of works, but it just looks stupid anyway. Like, the funny thing about the lipstick is that it's actually not badly drawn on, which makes it feel even dumber. Oh, my nose. I keep forgetting that actually... Did I remember... Ah, oh, now I don't even know if I tried to... Ah, it's so drafty. And my window's leaking, which is great. I've got a leak in my room. That's first. This is the first fucking house in which I've ever had problems with leakages. Just in my room. How do you spell that, committee? Oh, wow. Actually, really? That's a really brief way of putting it, I guess. I guess you could, though. What the... Oh, my god. Oh, great. What an interesting call. I get a call from my internship. About my internship. And about the fact that school has not been saying shit. Which is very bad. Very bad. But, oh. So... Oh, okay. Because this sentence is like one word away from being absolute trash. It's like factually backed opinions. That reminds me of the CBS. CBS, in case you're wondering, is like, no, not fucking you. Centraal Bureau Statistiek. So this is CBS, which is literally our statistics bureau. They just collect statistics. That's all they do! They're literally called the Central Agency for Statistics. That's all they do, is they collect information, and they're like, here's some information! Quango, a self-standing organization. What the hell? Or quasi-autonomous non-government... Wow. That's really cool. But yeah, the CBS just makes information. They're like, here's some statistics. They're like the central source you'll go to collect certain bits of information. Usually when it's something that regards to populace, like they said, kind of population, consumer... Like these really difficult to do on your own research things they'll help you out with. They're like, okay, here's some information. Good luck. Yeah. Quasi, because they do have to pass their shit past the right people. Quango! What a fun term. Quango! Quasi-autonomous non-government organization! Now you've learned something too! Yeah, he's kind of like he already like this based on fact. You literally just said this. You said independent and based on scientific research. We're independent, which means we do our own research. That's what independent means. We publicly... Okay, so that's kind of new. Art might not be true, but we always use... You're specifying it, but it feels kind of repetitious in another way. Could have been a bit cleaner. I can't do it cleaner. Maybe on the second pass. Who knows? Put your bets down. Comprehensive. Now, that's a word. Because the actual contact... Okay. Bias. Need to go work for that. Yeah, there's really just a sound like... I'm at a person named Amelia. The thing about Amelia that I don't like is Amelia never gets shown. Like, we're told that a picture of her exists, but why not? Like, we get to see the dead mother. Why not we get to see a picture of Amelia? Is that too much to ask? Like, it could just be a little doodle. Doesn't have to be much. But I guess that when you're dealing with this, you can't really have little doodles. Oh my god, this is my expertise. I know about this crap. Fuck! Like, I know the jargon, is the point. Because this overlaps a lot with what I do in school, where it's like, oh, you gotta do project work. So you know about project terms. I had to test research on their feasibility. Viability, I guess. Is viability and feasibility a different thing? No, feasibility is, yeah. It's like, yeah. Nah, it's similar enough. Now, grant is a hard word to do here. Yeah, burst, but burst doesn't really work here. So burst is something you say when some kid gets it. Yeah. Yeah, it's also... It refers to a financial... like a scholarship. It also refers to the bursts in the what do you call it? The stock market and all that kind of stuff. Stipendum, portfolio. Wow. I could just use burst. Also, they're projects, not research. It's kind of weird that you have this situation where, like, they're clearly stagnating technologically speaking, but at the same time, there's enough researchers to fight over research development funds? What? Like, what kind of society is this? That this kind of financial situation exists? Unless The dragons are like more ancient elsewhere. Like they have well-funded hospitals and all that, but that's kind of it. Like the healthcare seems so expansive that I can imagine that there would be only limited funds to research, but why would you go to the government when that just pushes to the private sector? I think you can do this. The new technology, by the way, is called data management system. And that they don't have to... Actually, you still would have to write things down until you get to a computer. Until you get to a computer to enter the files. Ugh, I hate this word. I still have the word saved, right? I can just go up here and clickety-clack it out a bit faster. Comité! What a fun word. Pitch. Sales pitch. I guess sales pitch does work here. He again repeats himself because he's already doing this. He already mentioned that his point is to figure things out, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta think." And why is this relevant? Why are we talking about these details? Like, let me tell you why this makes me angry. Why this makes me loud? Because I don't want to be loud. Why is this relevant to the story? You could literally just say they came along to present their pitch. Their pitch was fine, and I saw her there. But despite their pitch being fine, they didn't get like. He talks about details that are not relevant. For someone who's trying to talk about emotional stuff, he really brings in a lot of side details that aren't that relevant. Or maybe that's how his memory works. Because honestly, there are people who remember things like that and they talk like that. Like they bring in irrelevant details that aren't related to anything. They're true, and they were part of it, but they're not relevant to the context in which the story is told. Because don't forget, a story can be told in many ways. You can talk about World War II as a political thing, as a resource madness concept, as a story of one man in a war, army, military, or anywhere in between. Between Hitler and the guy who scoops the poop. You can also talk about World War II as an entropic event, as a series of events that changed the landscape by nuclear fallout or just damage done to the terrain. But you're not going to talk about the decay of farmlands when you're talking about, I don't know, a couple of tanks driving over to the battlefield. You talk about the battlefield, not the fucking, oh no, they rode over some flowers while they were going there. No one cares. That's not the relevant context of the story you're trying to tell. And that's what this thing does. It talks about details that really aren't relevant. You could just say, I saw her during a sales pitch, her pitch was good, but she didn't get it anyway. Like, why specifically mention what you're doing and, like, it feels so not supposed to be there, especially considering that in his emotional state, wouldn't he be, like, avoiding as much detail as possible and just trying to get to the point? Unless he's trying to, again, it is entirely possible that he's rambling. Because in these situations, you start to ramble very quickly because you don't want to talk about the uncomfortable stuff. But if he's rambling, wouldn't he ramble more? Wouldn't he bring in, well, this guy thought this and that guy thought that, instead of just rambling about this one tiny minute details, the exact specifics of what they were doing and how it resolved? Also, why is it in her case? It's a group. It's their case. The thing that gets me about Remy is Remy was clearly happy in this point in his life, and after that, all he could focus on was the loss. Here's a fun thing. Think about that point, and think about before then. Like, was Remy sad before then? Or was he just existing and kind of okay with things? Because if you look at it from that context, like, either his mental perspective on life has changed, his life has actually deteriorated, or he's only really sad because it happened. Because there's so many people who say, it's better to have lost love and lost. Dude, some people do not take loss that well. Some people are better off not having loved at all than having lost it. Because they will lose it, and they will die, and it will be your fault because you told them to do something they really shouldn't be doing. Love isn't for everyone, and losing isn't for everyone. Just saying. I find it hilariously ironic that a guy that I'm a friend with for like 7 years, apparently, I still get along with. Despite 7 years. Probably because he hasn't changed a bit. He grew up, but he's still so much the same. It's hilarious. The only reason I'm talking about this is because I don't have any friends, so I don't have any perspectives to talk from. A lot of things on a social occasion I don't know much about. But I do know that rambling is what I'm doing right now. It's kind of cute, though, that he finds someone that's like him. What if he's remembering that? Funny thing about this is that people tend to vastly overestimate the comfort of a situation. Like, your first few dates are probably kind of awkward. Your first time in bed is probably hilariously bad. But, you know, the first nail you hit in a plank is gonna look shit. The first glass you're mounting into a wall is gonna look terrible. The first time you start painting, you're gonna draw something that's awful. Unless you've got talent. And most people don't have talent in everything. They only have talent in a few areas. And only the few, like, if you start off with everything in your talent, then yes, you're going to have really high expectations for yourself. But it turns out, most people don't have that many talents. You got a few. You got to find them. And you got to like them. Sometimes you got talent in something you don't care about. Maybe you're the best poop scooper in the world, but you don't care for poop scooping. Leave that to the man who likes poop scooping, but doesn't have the talent, you know? Like, he wants to do it. He'll improve because he wants to. You start at a high level, but you're never going to go anywhere. So here's the thing that gets me. Why couldn't Remy just say that he knows someone on the... Like, I doubt that every single person on the committee is completely asexual and has no relationships with anyone whatsoever. Like, isn't there, like, a procedure for this? Like, there's gotta be a procedure where you say, listen, I happen to know someone who's in this research group, I cannot be unbiased in this situation. I'll be there to talk about things, but you can send me away whenever you want. Whenever I start to look biased, just throw me out the door. Like... It's one group. It's one research. You can ask for that. I highly doubt that a group's going to be like, okay, at least you're honest. We know we can trust you in the future that you'll tell us about this. Now we know that you're going to be unbiased in the future, and that you're establishing trust by admitting that you can't do something more than pretending you can. You know. relationship and... Like, Remy, you could just say, I don't want to be part of this. Like this one research, I'll be back for the... What the fuck, Remy? What is the mindset behind this? Like, if one dude has a fucking cold, I don't fire him because he can't show up to work one day. I send him home to get rid of it, and if he can work at home and do some things, fine. You don't fire someone because they know someone. And if anything, this situation is worse. Because Remy has now hidden his communications and contact with someone. Like, okay, he doesn't see her, but the mental connection is still there. This is a worst case scenario, Remy. Oh, it makes my side hurt. Actually, that should be plural. Wait just one moment. Is he 6 months? Like, what? Like, establish the timeline, please. So, what I get is that the idea is that Remy didn't see her, and after the thing was decided, they came back together, and they're like, no, let's not do it immediately. But the part of this that bothers me is it kind of implies that, like, what is, like, the way it's written implies that they were going to give it to them regardless of the circumstances. Yeah, I'm gonna write this a bit differently. Just 6 months after the scholarship was given. Man, this is a lot of text. Ugh. Like, the little NV clears kind of make it easier, but ugh. how we call night the small hours. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Just... Really? Yeah. Just, oh, it's usually referred to that. But yeah, like, wow, that's really curious. Yeah. It refers to working at night. Why they're called the small hours, I don't know. Like, that's one heck of a situation to die in. Ah, my hand, though! Ah! Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, like, why? Why, though? Why is that a super big sob story? Like, Anna doesn't, like... Isn't he the only person with, like, a relationship? No. Anna has an ex. Anna has an ex with Maverick, but it's implied the relationship was very flat. Lorem doesn't have one. Dean doesn't have one. It's implied that she doesn't even have that many friends. You got Remy, who's got one. And then Bryce is like... I think I'm gonna end it here. Hello, guys! Hey, we'll talk to, I'll talk to one of those about him. Oh, that's interesting. The cutoff option is basically just the thing you say here. This is what happens when you fill yourself with someone else. The moment they go away, you suddenly got a big old opening you gotta fill. But in reality, all that really happened is you inflated yourself. You started seeing yourself as more than you were. You equated yourself to them. You let them become part of you in a way that was dangerous. Empowering, but dangerous. Two people can carry more than one, but in the process, you also become dependent on them. The moment they leave, even if it's not permanent, you become vulnerable and frail. The best relationships are built on people who know how to stand on their own 2 feet. They're reliant and dependent, but at the same time, they can hold out on their own, so that when the time comes, they can carry the torch as far as they can, instead of just sinking into a pile of misery. But that's my opinion. Some things weren't meant to be. I shouldn't have been a fucking idiot when it comes to my planning stages. I could have just told my job and not have this be a problem at all. But look at what I know! I'm a librarian! I'm implied to be a smart character, but I'm clearly not.